Snip, snap.
Welcome to the Unplugged podcast, and today's guest is Luke Mayer from Coolmedia Marketing. Welcome.
Morning, you all right?
Yeah, you?
All good, thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
It's all right. Pleasure.
So, Luke, in regards to Coolmedia Marketing and how you are the founder and CEO, do you want to tell us a bit about that?
So we Coolmedia Marketing has been going for around 17 years. Wasn't the path I originally chose. Actually, when I left school, I was going into accounts, studying for my AAT.
I did accounts.
Yeah.
Well, I started it. It was too hard.
It was interesting to a point where we were also doing a bit of debt collection in and around the company I'm working for. So I used to work for a large newspaper title over in Lancashire, and was about to move into the SEMA section, and then they were short of salespeople. So I got asked if I'd go sit in the telesales section within the newspaper just to fill in for a while.
And that was the
Lancashire Evening Post.
Yeah.
I got told I had the wrong personality for an accountant and I'd been better suited for sales. I think it was more of a schmooze.
I couldn't imagine you being an accountant.
No, it's not. When I look back at it now, it's spreadsheets.
What
numbers.
made you want to do that?
My mum. She was like, you just need to get. She was very much don't go to college, don't go to university. You just need to get yourself an office job, work with computers. You're good with numbers. Why don't you go and be an accountant? So as a young, naive 16, 17-year-old, that's kind of where we went into. 3 years doing accountancy, debt collecting for the newspaper, moved into telesales. Got set a couple of mini targets, which we smashed, so that we were getting some decent commission off the back of it. And then that's kind of where the journey of sales went into. So we're dealing with clients over the phone. We got a promotion, moved into field sales, company car, higher salary, bigger commissions, a lot of customer focused meetings out in the field. And it just kind of developed from that.
And what made you want to just go on your own?
We built up quite a lot of good relationships with agencies, because when we was doing the media sales or the ad sales for the newspaper, the internet wasn't really a thing back then. As daft as it sounds, Facebook didn't really exist, and a lot of pushback we were getting from clients at the early stages, but they didn't need a website. That's how long ago it kind of felt. It's like, no, I've got front door people who come through. But as we started to see the change from newspaper ads and leaflets and people were moving online, there was an opportunity there which I saw where we were starting to capture physical data.
Yeah.
And one thing that we always got told in newspaper sales was never ask the client how the advert's fared. How's it done? Because you always get pushback, which was, it's too expensive, it's not worked, I want cheaper costs. With data, you can't really lie.
No.
And I was very much more of an ethical seller. And we got a really good relationship going with a marketing agency who was just purely doing ad creatives. And I took the decision to leave the newspaper and build websites from a bedroom, and that's kind of where it started. But we took 24 clients with us as well.
That's impressive.
So we had a really good relationship with the agency that's still going today.
You've still retained quite a lot of them clients as well, haven't you?
Yeah, we've still got 19 of them.
That's insane. Well done.
17 years on. So it's been a really good journey. And again, we've got really good relationships. We've built a reputation up. We started originally in Preston, migrated into Manchester, and then for the last 3 years we've been operating out of Liverpool, which has just completely transformed the business over the last few years. So it's exploded.
It's crazy, isn't it? Because I were in traditional PR and then moved into digital PR, and the transformation from going from traditional advertising or anything like that to having like data backed online, it's just gone insane.
Yeah, I think the fact that you can evidence it more as well, and you see the numbers increase, and then you can see where the attributions come from, and the data tells a story. I think it's, again, the psychology behind that has always interested me in the journey, in terms of which people, that we were talking about TikTok earlier, in terms of how people are now being influenced and how Gen Z have kind of disrupted the traditional sales funnel, like in terms of, like, know and trust. That's out the window now. It all comes down to video content. content.
Of course it does, because you've recently just been to a spa because something that you've seen online.
Yeah, it's crazy. So again, like that kind of manipulated in terms of when we landed within the country. So again, went to Sweden, went to a spa. We saw through TikTok what places people were visiting. Again, we didn't go on Trustpilot or Google reviews or anything like that.
I don't think many people do that these days, do they?
No, but the videos swayed us in terms of what they were doing. So again, it just goes to show, especially in hospitality, if you get the content right, you can actually navigate quite a large amount of audiences through your front door. So it was quite an interesting thing to see.
Yeah.
So
it's an easy way. It is. I literally went on a podcast about sales the other day, and I used to cold call all the time and stuff to obviously advertise. Yeah. And from now, having a digital presence is just a game changer for anyone.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous the kind of interaction that you get on LinkedIn when you look at it, others. But again,
I'm consistent now.
You're not selling, you're storytelling, and
yeah.
I think that's what people buy into. Yeah. Again, nobody's interested in the product or the service because again, we're a no bullshit marketing agency. Yeah. We say it how it is. What we do, other agencies can do, but where our USP lies is we're transparent.
Yeah.
We show the people what systems we use. We do in-house training. We had a meeting yesterday with a client and we actually said that part of our service is a self-destruct.
Yeah.
So when we go into a company, we don't want that company to be reliant on us as an agency going forward for the next 10, 15, 20 years. We'll train people up internally in terms of how to use the systems.
Yeah.
When they get competent or want to give it a go, we shut that system off. We hand it over to the client. And then we see how they fare and get on, and then obviously we can improve. A lot of agencies don't do that.
No.
What they tend to do is keep ramping up the costs and they shield a lot of the services and don't show them behind the curtain in terms of this is how you can do it, this is how you can improve. And one thing that we have done with our clients is because we've got that transparency, we built up a trust, but also a value for what they're paying for. So they understand that when they get the invoice through, right, we know exactly what we're paying Luke for this month.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are flying on like LinkedIn and things like places like that as well now.
Yeah, we've been. We took a conscious decision at the end of 2024. One thing that we've never done as a marketing agency is pushed ourselves or showcased our work. We've been quite introverted.
Yeah.
But we do a lot of work, and I thought, you know what, for what we've done over the last 8 to 10 months with the network that we launched, it's about time now we started coming forward and showing people what we're doing in terms of results for the agency. And again, that's just elevated us to another level. So now as a marketing agency, we're marketing ourselves and looking to build the brand, i.e. being into there. So.
Yeah, and that's key. Like, it's something that I consistently shout about. Don't tell people what you do, show them. And basically platform yourself as the director and the owner of the company is the way forward. Yeah. In regards to getting the brand out there, telling the story of the brand, and basically what you guys offer and the value that you add to the clients that you want to see.
I think it comes back to that old terminology we were talking about it in the car on the way over, is that people buy from people. Again, like trust, the vast majority of meetings that you have, they buy into you as a person, they buy into your ethics, they buy into your personality. When you come back, you set the workload up and you pass that over to your team. A lot of people would like you to do the work physically, but it's just nigh on impossible to do all that. So I think in terms of building brand recognition and moving forward as a company, like I said, it's my job now to do the client-facing meetings, to build on those relationships and then basically offer a solution for where there's a potential problem.
Yeah, and we're finding a lot more directors are working with us in regards to platforming themselves as a leader, as the go-to. And it's transforming businesses.
I mean, one thing that we've found since obviously working with yourself, it's those relationships and key media partners as well that we're working with. So we've, like, again, over the last 6 months, obviously meeting yourself, doing a little bit of work with you alongside a couple of clients and United World Productions as well. It just goes to show that once you surround yourself with the right peer-to-peer people, you can actually create something really remarkable. And obviously it opens doors into other avenues in terms of high quality referrals and networks. Yeah,
because a lot of people hold back, don't they? And they don't want to collaborate with like people in similar industries. They don't want to like share anything. It's like I like to work with people that we can support each other.
Do you know what? I'm big on sharing memes on Instagram, and I get a lot of grief for it. But it's kind of it's kind of my motivation. And there was one that I saw that if you're at the top of the pile, you're not worried about competition. You're more there to help and collaborate. Yes. Whereas if you're working your way up, you see everybody as competition.
Yeah.
And again, when we launched the business support network last year, we're all about collaboration now. And it's a case of, I don't worry about businesses coming in and looking at my business and seeing if they could steal market share. It's my job to keep that customer happy and get them in a spot where they don't want to move because they're happy with the services. Again, keeps us on our toes, and it means that we can continue to produce. But again, the element of competition for us is non-existent anymore. I would rather collaborate and see where we can find those little niches that we can work on together.
And that's a fantastic way to look at it, really. I mean, and that's how us guys are working now, me, United World, and it's working really well.
Yeah, well, again, it's just a constant circle, isn't it? I've got this client, I think you should speak to X. I've got this client, you should speak to Y, and then you start to move the work and the referrals around. And again, as an agency, we're very different, where we don't think you should put all your eggs in one basket. Diversify it, have multiple different people around that table that can help you grow your business. Like the one that we're working on together with that one specific client over in Liverpool. You specialise and you market yourself in this area, and then I specialise in market. And we're seeing the results off the back of it, and we've got a really happy customer. So for 100%. Us, it works in that respect.
Yeah. You're not driven by revenue, you're driven by results.
Yes. It's a strange way to look at it, but in my earlier days, it was always a case of chase the cash, look for the higher value.
To try and build.
And the more we kind of got embedded within the industry, it became apparent that actually I enjoyed helping businesses. That's always been my ethos in terms of when we started into marketing. If we can make a difference to somebody's business, whether it's growing, bringing on new staff, generating more revenue, what we found is that the cash kind of follows anyway. We're not a greedy agency. We charge accordingly. Some of the prices that we come up against, what people are charging for just social media. Oh my gosh!
Well, the websites, it's obscene.
It's ridiculous
compared to what you charge.
Yeah, and again, it's not that we're cheap. We just charge fairly and accordingly. So, and like, you know, without crapping on any kind of other agency, if we were as a web only specialist agency, we might only get 20 to 50 clients in through the entire year, which we're then reliant on a premium price. Because we do everything from the ground up, from web build to online marketing, PPC, social media ads, LinkedIn Navigator. There's many different avenues where we can earn money. So it means that actually we can actually reduce our costs on the premium products and charge accordingly as per what it would take in terms of an hourly rate. So that social media management, we're very transparent on how much time is actually spent on planning a campaign for an entire month. You can have that usually boxed off in one day. Some people charge in excess of 1,600 quid to run a couple of Facebook posts without me ad spend behind it. I just think it's preposterous. And again, it's challenging that narrative now, especially in big cities where they're used to paying premium. We're coming in with a fresh approach, and we seem to be mopping up quite a lot of businesses. And
that's fantastic. And
it's a different approach.
Yeah, 100%. A self-destruct model is intriguing. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
So we when we start working with a client, we get invested. And like I said, we can kind of evidence this because we've worked together on a couple of projects where we'll get to know about that business, and we'll get to know the people that are sitting behind the screen. So whether it's the MD, customer services, admin people. Say, for instance, if a customer has a website built with us, they want some SEO doing, but then they want some Facebook ads and some social media presence, there'll be certain elements of that we can train internal staff on. So social media is not a difficult thing once you get the hang of it. You only have to be shown a few times in order to understand it. So say, for instance, we go into a business and they're paying us for social media management, which again is low level. It's difficult to constantly try and tell that internal story without constantly relaying back to that client. So it's better managed internally up to a point. So what we'll do is we'll sit with staff and we'll show them how to do it. When's the best time to post, what your post should look like, how you generate a content calendar. And then obviously how you can do the planning on it. So you're not posting ad hoc every single day, but you can actually have everything done for the entire month on the first Monday of the month and move it forward. Initially, a customer or a client will pay us for that service, but over time, what we would do is we would train staff to get them to a point where they're then comfortable of bringing that service in-house. So then we say to that client, you need to stop paying us for this now because he or she who's looking after social media is competent, and to a point. We'll let that run for a couple of weeks and see how they get on. We'll jump in. Again, we don't charge for it, and maybe tweak a couple of things that need to be better, whether it's the message, whether it's the image, or whether it's just the timing that they post at the wrong time. And then again, we'll give the keys to the car back to the client and say, right, good to go again. But we've also partnered with a couple of companies where we can put staff on fully qualified training courses for social media management and marketing now, which is all above board accredited, working with the LCR over in the Liverpool City region and the Extraordinary Collective. Fully funded courses where people once a week will go in, learn how to do marketing for their business. And look to carry that on forward, but that accreditation stays with that individual as well moving forward, so that can be transferred over to any company as well. So that's something else that we've heavily not invested in, but we've worked on with again clients or network partners to bring something a little bit different in.
Because you're up to a lot, like
spinning plates.
And you've got your events.
Yeah, so the event side of things is, I'll be honest with you, it was born out of frustration. I've been networking for about 15 years on and off, and you come to a point last year when you start to figure out how much, not necessarily just time, but how much revenue you spend. So when you apply your day rate to it, plus your membership rate, and I go to a networking event that's not necessarily got a value in that room for me, it's quite a costly day.
Yeah.
Obviously, it takes you out of the business in terms of working in the business or working with staff. You've got the travel to and from. And it just come to a point last year where I was fed up. It wasn't delivering anything for me in terms of revenue, but most importantly in terms of growth. Because again, I'm a keen learner. One thing that somebody mentioned to me last year was surround yourself with better people.
Yeah.
It forces you to elevate. And again, cheesy narrative in terms of memes. So we decided to launch our own business support network with the basis of, let's have a look at what's already out there and let's cherry pick things that actually work really, really well and then make our own network soup, if you will. And then what we've done is we launched in Liverpool, the Liverpool network.
Yeah.
Within 3 months, we had 60 members.
That's insane. And is it free?
It's cheap. So basically, we don't believe in terms of making profit from the membership fees. The membership fee is just a token payment, which basically covers the cost of the venue or whatever it is. But the money that we raise from that, we invest back into the network. So we have like directors' days out. So last year, we took them all to the races. The tickets was included within the membership. So even though you're paying up front for the actual membership instead, you're actually getting that money back throughout the year. So we've got other things which we've launched, like the mobile app.
What's the trip this year?
We've got races, and then it was 2 days ago, we're doing it's like a treasure hunt around Liverpool, but it's more of a social. So we've got 25 to 35 people that we're onboarding with it, where we split them all up into teams, and then they run around Liverpool to different bars, areas, clubs, and they try and solve puzzles based on the businesses. So like the puzzles are based on the businesses that are members. So but the idea behind it is we create a narrative. Let's just say PR by Whitney's puzzle number 6. You would go to a destination at puzzle number 6, and then there'll be questions all around you and your company.
Oh my God, this is brilliant.
It forces everybody on those teams. So if you've got 35 people, it forces them to look at your website, to look at your LinkedIn, to learn more about you. So it's building your profile out. So again, it's our way of paying back that membership fee into members. So again, we choose the number of puzzles, the number of businesses that are involved, and then we can highlight them in a different way. But then there's a social afterwards, so we can all go for a drink and get pissed.
Yeah.
So,
that's why you're doing it, Luke, let's be honest.
Do it on a Friday. Again, just to say for the network, that's what we're trying to do a little bit differently. And it's not a case of when we go to a networking event, you're trying to sell your services to the people in the room, but it's about forging those relationships and seeing how they can progress beyond the networking events.
That treasure hunt one, and then getting people to learn about their businesses, that's fantastic.
Nobody else is doing it.
Yeah,
nobody else is doing it. Liverpool is now 8-9 months old. We launched Cheshire on the 20th of January, and we've just announced Manchester, and that goes live in April. But
I'll be at the Manchester one.
Yeah, well, the idea is that we get the right people in the room, all decision makers, again, on a peer-to-peer level. There might be something there that you can learn. There might be something there that you can pass on in terms of knowledge. But essentially, every director in that room will have a nice little black book of connections, and that's what we're trying to tap into.
That's insane. And this is all just come off for just a whim because you were sick
fed
to
up.
death. Yeah.
Fed up, yeah.
But that's 9 times out of 10, that's where all creative ideas come from.
Yeah.
From owners.
Yeah, it has been stressful setting it up because, again, now there's a certain expectancy in terms of keeping that level there. But the feedback that we get from people, and we're quite fluid with the way that we set it up and run it. Everybody loves it. And again, we're only charging £350 a year plus VAT to network across all networks. So once you remember...
So can they go to each one?
Can go to
That's
each
fantastic.
one. And we've had franchising opportunities come in. We've asked if we can do them in London. We've been asked if we can do them in Dubai. We've been asked if we can do one in Boston. I can't split myself too much. But that we're looking at ways that we can do it where, again, if we're going to be giving the license or the franchise of the brand over to somebody, it has to be nurtured and looked after by similar people. As you know, sometimes it's difficult to let go of them reins and have the same person with the same enthusiasm to trust what you're doing. So
how would you, going on to that topic, how would you describe yourself as a business leader?
Risk taker.
I
used to think about the consequences after it. I was having a conversation yesterday with a connection where his business is rapidly growing and he wants to kind of put things on the back burner before he develops it any further. But if he puts another message out, it'll get even more people involved. I was like, put the message out, get the more people involved, and then deal with it after. And that's just the way I kind of look at it. But I think from a personal point of view, I see myself as an ethical seller. Again, we're all in this business to make money. But natural risk taker, entrepreneur, borderline ADHD, constant thinker.
I know that because at times where you speak sometimes. I think the only person I know that operates at the same times as me.
I'm constantly processing.
There's no switch off, is there?
No, and I don't think unless you're in that headspace, you don't realise how busy it actually is. But again, if you can channel it right, you can be super productive.
How have you found building a business from this?
Hard. Hard. Every day is hard. Every day is a challenge. It's like you've no safety net.
No. Because we see people online and they say, I'm going from strength to strength. I'm constantly scaling. And like, I wrote a post actually, and I was brutally honest, and I was like, January for me was shit. I struggled. I physically, mentally struggled. And I even had moments where I thought, what the hell am I doing? And it was just like, and I put the post out because I thought one thing I shout about is being authentic. And then we can all go on there and say that we're having good months and stuff like that. We're having good wins. But no, it was tough.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, part of the network, we do a thing which is called Connects. And anybody that runs a business knows that when you go to an event or you speak to people, you have to put on a brave face. You have to tell them how fantastic it is. But then you deal with all the crap afterwards, and whether it's cash flow, staff, debt, whatever it is you're dealing with, sometimes you can't sound that off to partners, family members, or even staff. So as a business owner, you kind of retain all that stress on your own shoulders, and the only other people that would understand it are people in business. So we launched Connects in January for Liverpool, and the idea behind it was we have a roundtable discussion of FMDs where we're intimate in terms of conversation. You bring to that table your problems. So I'm not interested in even your good news. Bring it to the table an agenda point of 5 different areas that you need help with, whether it's growth, lead generation, staffing issues, HR, whatever it is. And around that table, if you've got 10 to 12 people of experienced heads, somebody will have had that experience in that area. And then together as a team, you kind of work it out. So what we've done over the last few months is we've assembled a team through Connects of the first group of directors working through issues. Classic example, I had one member who basically he put his sales forecast on the board and he'd not converted anything, and this sales forecast has something like 30 clients on there. He's going, I'm struggling to convert all these. So from a sales point of view, there was one client up there who was my client, and I said, where's this up to? He's like, installation's February, it's just taking its time. I rang the customer there and then, put it on loudspeaker so everybody could hear. Where's this installation up to? I've got it down February. It's not going to be for another 3 years at least. So the MD for that company had kind of not conned himself, but basically put himself in false hope that this was going to... So what we did is we stripped out all the crap and we focused on the areas that we needed to focus on. And because he got rid of all the distraction and we focused on I think it was only like 3 or 4 customers, he managed to turn one into profit the week after. So what we did is we removed the distractions and we was blatantly obvious and going, right, so this is your distraction. You've got 30 things up on the board. Let's focus on the main 4 and work through them. So that's what Connects does, and like lead generation as well. Every business is always looking for lead generation. How do I do it? We found that it takes up to 14 points of connections now with a business in order just to get a decent conversation going. You know, you might hit it off on conversation number 1, but they might not be ready to convert until maybe 14 conversations later. And again, when you got 12 people around the table and they're all singing from the same hymn sheet and going, I've got that issue, you can see the pattern, and that's the idea behind Connect. So again, we deal with the crap rather than the shiny, look at me, we're doing fantastic. So, but yeah, going back to your original question, hard work.
Yeah, it is. It is. What do you find challenging? What's your biggest challenge that you've...
Motivating myself.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm quite shocked at that.
No, so I think what it is with me, because we've got so much going on, it's where we diverse for time.
Yeah.
And it's like what needs the most time of my experience to be put into place. And for motivation side, it's like you've got a lot of crap in there as well in terms of what you're dealing with on the day-to-day basis. You've got some customers which just require 24/7 support that don't pay a premium price, but you want to keep people happy. And it's just a case of making sure that I'm up to speed. And again, like with everything that you've got going on, whether it's in personal life or in work life, you're constantly having to be at your best. So again, I find that quite not difficult but challenging.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And what have you found most difficult building the business?
It's funny because like the last 3 years the business has exploded, and I think that's because of the geographical location. So originally when we started in Preston, we naturally grew in Preston and then migrated into Manchester, but we kept base of operations in Preston. Three and a half years ago, I moved over to the Wirral, which forced me to do things a little bit differently, which we didn't have a customer base over in the Wirral. So Wirral, Liverpool, Cheshire. It forced me to go out and start to make new connections again. But what we saw is that the ecosystem of Liverpudlian, the Scousers, Liverpool businesses, you do a good job for somebody over there, can't wait to refer you. Oh. Manchester was difficult because it's very much like London. It's massive, it's fragmented. You've got the 10 districts of Manchester in terms, but again, all businesses seem to be isolated and in competition with each other. So it's going to be interesting in April when we launch the Manchester network to see where that collaboration lies and just if it's going to take off as quick as what Liverpool did. Because Liverpool, it was just like, it just set ablaze like almost straight away when we set it up. Because again, it's quite incestuous in terms of everybody knows everybody in Liverpool. It's a massive area, it's a massive city. But in terms of businesses, you can go to a network event and see the same people move around. So it'd be interesting to see how Manchester operates when we get that up and running.
Jesus. No. God, you have a lot going on.
Spinning.
So what's next for you? What's next for Coolmedia marketing?
Expansion. Like I said, I think the network groups, they accommodate the agency quite well. So it gives us soft sells or soft approaches into new business. Every time we bring in a new member, it gives us an opportunity to have a one-to-one with a brand new business that we may have never reached out. So what we've seen through Liverpool and Cheshire has had a direct impact on Coolmedia. And this year it's about expansion. We're going after the market quite aggressive because there's a lot of people out there that are doing a shit job and they're charging premium. It's annoying me. And in terms
takeover,
that's the idea. But working with like strategic partners like yourself, once we start to get those partnerships aligned, there's nothing that can't be accomplished because then we become a bit of a one-stop shop. And again, we've got that good referral network where we don't necessarily do creative video marketing. I've got somebody in place who's fantastic who does that. Branding and PR, we've now got yourself that can facilitate that side of things. So again, I'm not interested in taking an entire pot of cash from a customer and saying I'll do it all. It's like let's have a look where we can diversify and spend it wisely. And again, the more that we seem to be pushing out in the likes of Liverpool, we're getting a lot of referral work and a lot of recommendation. We've landed a couple of really big clients over the last couple of months. Somebody that we would never have dreamed of approaching. But that's all come through network, collaboration, referral. So again, if we can get more of those relationships in place, there's nothing to stop us to elevate it going forward.
100%. World domination for you.
That's what we're trying, but we'll take our media partners with us as well.
Yes, we're not going nowhere. You're stuck with us now. Thank you for joining us today.
Cool.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a blast.